I have a confession to make. That's me. But when I first learned about the serious impact of climate change, I felt infinitely small and powerless. I remember going to a major event in November 2012, where Bill McKibben, one of the leaders of today's environmental movement, spoke to us about the terrifying new math of global warming.
Just 3 numbers, okay? The first one's 2 degrees. That's how much the world has said it would be safe to let the planet warm. Second number, scientists have calculated how much carbon we could pour into the atmosphere and have a reasonable chance of staying below 2 degrees. They say about 565 more gigatons. A gigaton is 1 billion tons. But the scary number is the third number. And it came from a team of financial analysts in the United Kingdom. And what they did was figure out how much carbon the world's fossil fuel industry had already in their reserves. And that number turned out to be 2,795 gigatons worth of carbon. 5 times as much as the most conservative governments on Earth think would be safe to pour into the atmosphere.
The call to action was to start a divestment campaign demanding that our universities take their investments out of the fossil fuel industry. I remember people applauding, ready to join the fight, as I slid further down in my seat. I just didn't think activism was for me. I preferred reading my books and writing my papers and sticking to the rules. I was scared.
Do I believe in student activism? Yes.
I don't know. I think some people can take it too far, but I think that it is really important.
Not to the effect where we may have like a massive impact.
When they had things like all those riots back in like the 70s for the Vietnam War, they were doing peaceful protests, but it kind of went downhill. And I think sometimes doing things like that can just be a little bit too much.
I'm not involved in student activism because I don't feel as though I have the time for it.
As a student, yes, I have signed petitions, but I've usually stayed with just that.
But then, on a whim, I went to the first NYU Divest meeting. I know it seems contradictory, and I don't know exactly why I decided to go. Something just drew me in. That's where I met Sophie. At first, I was intimidated by her commitment.
Were you scared at all? Did you have any fears starting up this campaign?
I definitely didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was so passionate and excited about the national movement that was springing up all around us that I didn't really have time to think and just jumped into it head first.
She was so determined. Why wasn't I like that?
You know, there was a meeting when I was the only one who showed up. And that was a shitty time. It was personal, and it was really hard for me to watch the campaign, the energy dwindle.
But the campaign pushed through, and it kept gaining momentum.
The people standing here today have come to you to ask to meet personally with NYU Divest before the end of the spring semester.
We don't have stocks in any of those 200 companies.
But you do have investors that invest.
I could repeat the whole thing again. And we've told you this many times, and the process to do it is for you to go into the Senate and the government's
Which
process.
we're currently doing. We would still like to request a meeting with you as you
And guess what?
follow up.
What do you think my answer is?
Yes.
Will you take yes for an answer?
Yes, we'll absolutely take yes for an answer.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Those victories, that was the adrenaline rush that kept me going. It felt like I had found an important mission, a purpose. All of us had that same feeling together.
Some of these key moments, like the town hall action, and remembering how much power I felt in those moments as part of a collective group that was so passionate and so inspiring. It's contagious and it's addictive, and you just want to experience those things over and over again.
But I also realized that sometimes the group felt like a protected bubble.
Hey, how you doing? Just on our petition, we're asking the university to divest.
It was easy to get wrapped up in the cause, to forget that people out there didn't always feel our urgency.
Environmentalism isn't really a primary concern of mine. Normally I focus on like getting through the day.
Yeah, actually I'm the wrong guy for that because I'm big invested in the fossil. Fair enough, take care.
I think he said he was invested in the fossil fuel industry. So he was the wrong guy for our message.
Like when I recycle, I just kind of throw everything in the mixed recycling bin. Sometimes I don't recycle.
I was still trying to get comfortable. I asked myself, what was my role here?
Social movements invite ordinary, everyday people to recognize their own power, to change society, and to shift paradigms in really impactful ways.
And if someone is scared of doing that, what do you tell them?
I think people have plenty of reason to be scared, and they have a right to be scared because the things that we're up against are really, really big.
I realized that, for me, the best way I could contribute was with my camera.
Is there a possibility of asking them to film inside, or no?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to be able to do.
So when we planned an action in October, I volunteered right away to film it. The action took place early in the morning, right before an important meeting between the campaign and the university. I've grown stronger as an activist, more confident.
I think it's going to go pretty well. We've practiced a few times, and everybody did amazing. We're going to wow them with humor and wit.
It's just that sometimes the goal seems large and overwhelming, and I don't know how far we have to go to win.
Bye, you guys. Good luck.
I have never done anything where I've felt like my life is on the line, or...
Would you?
Well, I ask myself those questions. When you're surrounded by a community of people who care so deeply about the people whose lives are really affected by these elite business interests, you realize how important it is to sacrifice for something bigger.
I don't quite know if I can do the same. But I've also learned that what matters most is everybody's presence. And I am here, right now, hands on the camera.
I'll open my heart, you open your heart, open your heart.